All right.
You're like, we're getting off topic
here. Holy shit. Taking shots randomly.
Yeah. Anyways,
I recently rewatched Halloween 2018. Dude, that movie is so fucking good. And that really should have been the last one. It is so good.
but you know Hollywood, they're like, oh, dude, more of that.
Yeah. I mean, I did watch which one was the second one?
Kills?
Was that Kills?
You watched Kills?
I did watch the second one, yeah.
Halloween Kills?
Yeah.
The
Well,
one
and
where
then-
he kills where he gets out of the house that's on fire.
Yeah, and
he
he's
kills
walking out.
Oh,
there.
what'd you think of it?
I mean, I was like, I don't know. To me, I saw the same sentiment. They should have just ended with that last. Having it be, because if I'm not mistaken, right, it was just a direct sequel to the first one.
Yeah.
And they gated the second one, and they're like, all right, this is just a time jump of like everything that's happened. I love that. It was awesome. Like the world building and everything, and having her prepare for this moment, and having it be satisfying as well. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
She my business. Like this isn't a fucking a tomb. This is his grave. You're like, that's a bar. Holy shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like don't like that's just like a bow on it. And then they have to rip the bow off and then fucking throw other shit in there. But like, you know, I kind of do want to watch I never watch Halloween Ends personally.
But you watched Kills.
I did watch Kills, and I did feel like there was parts that I liked, but
Parts
I
that
also
you were
felt
like-
like it was just more forgettable. And again, it just goes back to I think 2018 should have just been the one.
Mhm.
You just go there and you're just like, you know, that's it. I'm not touching it no more.
Halloween Ends was just not a satisfying conclusion to what was definitely not a planned trilogy.
Yeah.
And the thing is like Halloween Ends is, I think as time passes, it's gonna be like Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. You know how as people pass, people are like, look, it's not Michael Myers, but as like a horror movie, it's pretty fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Like the concept in Halloween Ends are really cool and interesting. There's a lot of really cool bits, and this could have been a satisfying conclusion had there been tidbits in the prior ones to kind of make it go full circle and feel coherent, and not just out of fucking nowhere be like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Like, you know, what's infuriating about there are bad movies, but then there are movies that like have bits where you're like, bro, I see little bits that could have been a great movie.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they just don't stick the landing, or like they don't just
Fall on their face.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it sucks because I think, like I said, somewhere in a different universe there is a perfect Michael Myers trilogy, and Halloween Ends is probably like a perfect end to that trilogy. It's just not this one.
Yeah.
You know, that's just the best way to say it, dude. Especially since like Michael's not even in it for like long. He's in it, I want to say 15 minutes total of that entire movie.
Yeah.
Which is fucking insane.
Insane.
And you're hyping up the
I mean, that's
last
the reason.
battle,
I remember
like,
when that movie came out and I heard that, I was like, I don't want to watch. Like, I literally was
Yeah.
like, you see, I love the original Halloweens. Like, I have them on Razordisc. Like, they're awesome. It's my first ever slasher movie I ever saw. So, and
the original Halloween, right?
Yeah, the original Halloween.
Do you like the Rob Zombie Halloween movies?
I mean, there's like some parts where I'm like, that's cool, but like, I never saw the second one. First of all, I only saw the
That
first one.
second one is trippy.
I only saw the first one, and I just remember being like, okay, like I don't know, like there were some cool kills, but overall, it's a little forgettable to me, personally. So
Yeah.
that's
I'm not a fan of like Rob Zombie dialogue
Mhm.
a lot of the times.
And I think that is another part of it. It's like the characters are forgettable. It's just like
The characters are pieces of shit in the movie.
Yeah.
I just remember just being like, can you all fucking die?
yeah, it's yeah.
I like the idea of kind of trying to give Michael an origin. You know, him killing animals as a kid and just having those little bits turn into him. Like, oh, that makes sense. He killed animals.
Mhm.
You know, he was a bully. He was bullied, you know. But it does take a lot of the mystery out of the shape, right?
Mhm.
Of like, for some odd reason, this random kid just fucking snapped.
Well, it's
And
just
that-
like
and
if
that-
you go
and
back to the
that's
original, he's like
infinitely-
he's pure evil. Like,
Exactly.
There's no explanation.
There's no explanation,
and that's part of what makes him scary.
Exactly, and that's why I'm like, I with the Rob Zombie movies, I can kind of get on board, but kind of not at the same time,
Mhm.
because it takes the mystery out of Michael.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Joker. The reason I love the Joker so much as a villain is because He's another character that's evil for the sake of being evil. He has
Mhm.
no fucking motive. It
Yep.
could be he's bored. It just doesn't matter. He would just
He
do the
enjoys
most
it, like,
horrendous
it's just-
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, it's so. Yeah, man, that's probably my biggest gripe with the Rob Zombie movies, and probably why I couldn't really get into them.
agree.
Although I will say that Michael is fucking terrifying.
Oh yeah, he's like beyond
Fucking
superhuman, isn't he?
giant,
Yeah.
and just like fucking a dude. Him and fucking Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, the 2009 remake.
Yeah. Dude, that Jason Voorhees will always terrify me because it's just like motherfucker running, bro. I was like, dude, just relax.
And just like tidbits of like the way he would like try and trap you, like when he threw that
Yeah.
axe in that dude's back and
Mhm.
tried to get his friends to like get
Go
lured
help
by him.
yeah.
Bro, that motherfucker is terrifying.
Mhm. I
I
wish we
wouldn't
would have
survive
gotten a
that.
sequel to that Jason. I really wish.
Yeah, I want that, but I just want like better characters and a better fucking story.
To me, I think
you
like
know?
if you with someone like Jason in particular, I feel like an anthology would be better. Like it's just like a whole new everything again. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know because you haven't seen any of the originals, right?
so I've seen part 1, part 2, and part 3. Those are the only ones.
So like
I've seen them all once. Besides the third one, I've seen that one.
I want to say his name is Tommy Jarvis.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of becomes like Jason's foe later in the series, and I really like his character. It starts off as a kid, so he's like a kid, and his family, like he makes it at the end of the movie, but Jason's literally killed his entire family, and him and his sister are like the last ones. So he kind of grows up traumatized from that, comes back, and he's just like new person. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Mhm.
he's a person that keeps coming back to the series, and I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, let's do that, because he's kind of
Mhm.
like, again, his arch nemesis in a way. No one believes him, and I think it'd be kind of refreshing, you know.
Okay.
So, I actually want to rewatch the Friday series, the Friday the 13th series again. They can be too much. I won't lie, but I just have a soft spot for them.
The
Jason X,
that's the future one, right?
yeah, the one in
Yeah.
space.
Yeah, I actually always liked that one as a kid.
That's a
I was like,
guilty pleasure.
That is
dude.
so cool.
I terrifying.
Yeah.
When he comes out with like the metal mask,
Yeah,
that was actually.
I always thought
fucking
that
sick.
one was cool. And then obviously I've seen Freddy versus Jason.
Have you seen it recently?
Not recently, but I know he's told me it's like, bro, it did not age well, and I'm like, let me just live in my land of being
Dude,
like, yeah, it's
okay.
a great movie.
But every bit that you remember that involved Jason and Freddy is still as good.
Okay.
Like the storyline isn't bad.
Also, one thing that always I remember being like, why didn't that happen? Isn't there, if I remember correctly, there's like a part where he swings his machete at somebody, hits them in the stomach, and they just go flying. Isn't that a part of that? And I was like, why didn't she get split in half? I feel like I remember that and being like, what the fuck?
No, he hits someone with like the butt of it, and they go flying back.
Oh, maybe it was the butt.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I remember because I loved that. That was like I think the only horror movie I would rewatch as a kid that didn't.
Oh yeah, I
freak me out.
rewatched it a lot as a
Because
kid.
also like there was a lot of action in it.
Yeah,
so like
it was just a fun movie.
yeah, so you know, yeah,
It was
dude.
really cool, and like you see the fight scene, and like yeah, it was. I don't know. I always really liked it. I would always recommend it. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe just the fight scenes.
Yeah.
That's all I would recommend.
Just watch the fight scenes on
yeah,
YouTube. Don't watch
just,
the actual
just
movie.
do that because it's okay. Definitely, it is perfect for spooky season. But like there are other movies I feel like you can watch. You know.
Oh yeah. I mean, my go-to is it's literally Halloween and Scream. Those are my go-to. Whenever this time comes around, I'm like, I want to watch these.
I feel like I would survive Scream. I feel like I wouldn't survive Halloween. I don't think I'd survive Friday the 13th. I feel like I'd survive Nightmare on Elm Street and Child's Play.
I agree with all of that. Actually, I totally agree.
Jeepers Creepers, I think I could survive.
I think how many is of there?
There's 4.
I've only seen the first one then.
No, you've probably only seen the first 2. Because the second one's set on the bus.
Oh,
So that's
they're
probably
like
the
in
one
a
you're thinking
cornfield,
of.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the first one is
the first one has that guy what's his? I forget his name. He was
Justin
on.
Long.
Yeah, he was on New Girl.
Yeah.
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 I remember because
and he had his eyes cut
Yeah, and
out
I
at the
remember
end.
as a kid, I was like, no,
They killed
I was
him!
like, no.
Yeah, it was pretty. Actually, I remember that ending being fucking heart wrenching as a
Yeah,
kid.
it
I was like,
was.
they took